Okay, so I don't even know. So we're on the internet is Katt Williams.
Katt Williams. Cat in the Hat, Katt Williams.
Katt Williams is the whistleblower. He's deep throat, man.
He know where all the bodies at.
This man is Watergate.
He is he's spilling the beans.
Spilling the beans, spilling the butt plugs.
Wait a minute. Puff.
Yo. Yeah, man. So we can watch some of this Katt Williams exposing Steve Harvey right now and a lot of the other comedians.
It's
savage,
crazy.
Man. It's savage.
It's like war on comedy right now, right?
Yeah, it is. I couldn't stop watching this interview that was done by
comic
Shannon.
on comic crime.
Yeah.
We should be black on black crime. Now it's comic on comic crime.
Real.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask him, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, Obacaby, and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there.
I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore the way you. I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol.
Yo, you remember that Hanging with Mr. Cooper? Remember that show? I completely forgot about that with Mark Curry.
Yeah,
that was crazy. I did not remember that, and I remember Mark Curry saying this a couple of years ago. How Steve Harvey had taken one of his jokes,
and it's because, the thing about it is because at the time,
right?
Steve Harvey was, still like Kings of Comedy,
yeah,
and so it was like, come on, he ain't steal your stuff, but the proof was already out there.
Yeah, it was way ahead of it. Yeah. So it's crazy
the comics knew. The people who know.
Right.
We not in the industry, so we don't really know all the facts. If we had did research, we probably would have figured it out. But, but we lazy.
For sure. This man talking
about lazy.
Yeah, we are. And this man talking about he didn't want to be a movie star. I got 7 shows. I don't want to be a movie star. I gotta play it. Oh God.
I've had a sip. Less than you. This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the story.
That's interesting because
that's the premise of it.
If you Google, Steve Harvey homeless, he talked about how he was homeless for like 3 years. So
that's crazy. This is his origin story.
How do you fact check that one?
Right. But this is his origin story. This is all he goes off yo, I was home. This is his motivational speech.
I think I even sent that to somebody.
His motivational speech?
Yeah.
Right. I was thinking this. God can do it. And bro, if you're using God's name in vain in that's crazy. Yeah. If you're using this in order to show credibility and have a sob story, and like I said, your origin story of you trying to become a comedian, telling people not to give up, and you never had to face the struggles like normal people have, that would be messed up. And if not only that, if you're taking someone else's story and making it your own, taking Katt Williams' story, if this is true, and making it your own, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's plagiarism.
Yeah, it's plagiarism, and it's it's
biting. You taking credit for somebody's stuff. I mean, he's like China.
Right.
You know how China be taking our they'll take our products.
Oh, I thought you meant China, Black China, some China doll or something.
No, like China, they take our products, take it to China.
All right.
They'll redo it and take it as their own.
Right, and we get it for a discount. On eBay. On eBay. No, I'm kidding.
Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made... All lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. So, I can't do that because Steve told you that he's...
Yo, so this one's cut, but he was talking about Kevin Hart not having a sold-out show. You don't remember him ever have like a lines around the corner for basically to, I guess, validate Kevin Hart's like stardom, to be like, oh, why did he get like, you know, given movies and stuff like that? Because normally when you get movie roles and stuff like that, you hot. Eddie Murphy and them, they were all hot.
Kevin Hart was hot.
When?
Everybody was talking about him.
When? Like what? Def Comedy or what? I mean, where was he?
I don't know exactly when, but Kevin Hart, people liked Kevin Hart. People talked about Kevin Hart.
But he's talking about like, I guess he's talking about when he was coming up and he just said all of a sudden Kevin Hart was just, boom. He was out of nowhere is what he's trying to say.
Now, I remember Kevin Hart talking about like how he was doing shows, like trying to do shows, but he never, like every pilot he went on, it got canceled. Like he'd go out for a TV show or whatever, right, and then he would say it would be like a pilot of a show he's trying to get on, and,
right,
and it would be canceled because it just wouldn't flourish. It happened many times. So I don't know.
But what about as far as but usually you have to have some type of following or something, right? In comedy when you get those shows. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying he was like, oh, Kevin Hart just had it already. Like it was weird. Like he had it on the East Coast and then he said he had it on the West Coast, and they were like, they've never heard of someone blowing up in both coasts
at the same time.
At the same time. That's what Kevin was saying. Like,
right.
And not Kevin. Katt Williams was saying he's never heard of that, and he was like, it don't add up. And he like, I was in L.A. and whatever, and no one ever heard of him, or he wasn't selling out things. There were no lines to watch Kevin Hart, and all of a sudden, you know, you get a principal role in Soul Plane, you know, and they don't usually do that with unknowns or something like that.
I got you. I see what you're saying.
Because I remember seeing Kevin Hart, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? I mean, I didn't watch Soul Train. I thought it was us going backwards. I don't know if you watched it. I was just like, why? Do we got to put some rims on a 750, 747?
With Snoop in it?
Yeah, 747. I was like, why? I didn't watch it. When I saw the plane was purple, it lost me at Soul Plane. I was like, look, I already accepted Soul Train.
I think the only movie that I've seen with Snoop in it was really Baby Boy.
Baby Boy. Oh, okay. That's what Tyrese.
That was actually pretty good.
Baby Boy's good.
But they had a great cast though.
Yeah. John Singleton, I think he wrote that for Tupac.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he wrote it for Tupac, so that's what Tyrese said.
I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in, and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star?
They did that.
So on the behalf of Bernie,
that's crazy.
I would have to say what I have to say.
Have you ever been on tour with any of these guys?
Every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out there in real life. So no. Faison's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that. Like, you got to be doing karaoke around the country to make that work.
Right.
And he is. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100-city tour. I'm not gonna have a conversation with these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point. Yes, it's easier for you to juice than to get in the gym, but you don't get to bring that body in here talking crazy.
Talk about how good you look.
What? No, there's too many comics out there that are putting their life on the line to tell these jokes, man.
Okay.
They're all a group. Cedric, Steve, Ricky, they've been a group. Everybody knows that. They've been aligned. And there are these alliances in comedy. And if you stand against them, then they sometimes have a problem. But we don't let that change the content because that's all you know me for, is that I'm...
You know, I have heard or seen like messages where people have talked about how the generosity of Katt Williams, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We had Ocean on.
Yep.
And he spoke that.
Yeah. And I seen this other message online that showed there's another guy who it was a white guy who his message was basically like he was able to work with Katt.
Right.
And he was performing before Katt, and he was upset because, you know, he was sad that Katt wasn't there to watch him perform. And he said he did a good job. But then he didn't realize that Katt was actually in the audience watching him. And he stepped up to him and he threw some money at him, like threw a bunch of money. And it was 5 times what he should have been paid.
Wow. That's saying a lot.
Yep.
I believe it, yeah. I believe this guy has a good soul. I believe it. And he speaks on God and stuff like that. You know, talking about his childhood and what guided him. And like I said, he plays whatever role. We all play a character or whatever, but I think he's very wise. And he's got, I think he has an understanding. He said he studied all these religions and he had to study it and practice them in order to understand them, which he said further along in the interview or whatever. But
I mean, he's read, according to him, like thousands of books.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, like, whether he got accepted into whatever college at 7 years old. I don't know. Right. Because stranger things have happened. There's other people that have done that. But if this dude if he's writing things, creating his own stuff, you know, shows, making millions upon millions of dollars, he must be doing something right. He must have some type of sense. You know, and not only that, he said he only works with the funniest people. He'll hire people that are funnier than him to open up his shows, to go on tour with. That's a person that loves the craft, and that makes you hungry and makes you want to be better versus you being the best I've
been to his shows. I wouldn't say people are funnier than him, though.
No. But he's saying he hires funny people and people that are funny to him, or maybe people that puts a spark in his ass that, hey, keep him on his toes.
Yeah.
A problem, but we don't let that change the content because that's all you know me for, is that I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. You mean to tell me if Steve Harvey, your favorite comedian, you mean you've been waiting for him to do stand-up for 15 years now?
I mean, Steve got a lot of other...
DL's still out there. None of those irons matter to stand-up. Who cares that they wrote a placard for you to do Family Feud on? Like, you're successful because we're surprised you can talk for a living and it's entertaining that you're going to say some funny country things. But not a writer.
Right.
Not a writer.
When you got into stand-up, was crossing over, was doing TV, was doing movie, was that a part of it? You're like, okay, I'm doing stand-up. Okay, the next progression is TV, movies.
Throughout the history of stand-up, sir. That's the goal for all of us. That's how it goes. That's why when you hear these dudes talking about, oh, I didn't want to be a movie star, you just know it's disingenuous. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Yeah, oh, no, I just wanted to do a game show.
Right.
Let's go.
What?
Cedric.
You sure?
You gonna say about Cedric?
You sure? Because I thought you did Mark Curry's show over after he had just done hanging with Mr. Cooper. Why would you do all of that man's stuff that he did on his show on yours and then do the dude's stand-up when you go on the road? And then you never put Mark Curry on your show or nothing. Like, if you don't say anything, these dudes will run over you. I don't know if you know how bullies operate.
I
but
do.
If you don't stand up for yourself, there really is nothing they won't do.
Right. Do you consider yourself a king of comedy?
It's true.
Where does Katt?
No, they consider that.
Oh, that-
like when after Bernie left, them same 3 guys I'm telling you about, the kings.
Yeah.
Right? Because DL is the greatest.
Yeah.
There's no DL slander gets tolerated. But they came to me. I was supposed to be the 4th king. I got the offer.
Then what happened?
But I turned it down.
Why?
Because you shit on Bernie. And I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you shit on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? Fuck you. Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him. The reason you was supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour. Not it was going to be called the Kings of Comedy. It was Steve's tour. These are the guys opening for him. Of course you got to close if it's your tour. That's why it was such a big deal. But you couldn't do it because you can't beat the best. And until you humble yourself, you will forever be kinged by the king. And because you finally did it, because you didn't have no other choice, and now that he gone, you gonna act like he wanted to be a movie star. You stop it. You stop it. That man was funnier than all of y'all, and y'all thought y'all had one over on him. You thought he was black and ugly, and you were good looking, and he couldn't make it because you did. And that ain't the way comedy works. The king is the funniest. Period. Every time. And that's why no audience member was ever swayed. It didn't matter where Bernie went. You think if Bernie went first, he wasn't the king? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get your ego out of this. You let the best be the best, right?
Katt Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming on, bro. I really appreciate that. Thanks for sharing
Thank you.
the stories, setting the record straight. Now, you know they're going to double back.
Impossible. Impossible. Only because if once you play this back, you'll realize I didn't.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did.
Pettiness,
I did love Bernie on Def Jam.
Jams.
Did you watch Def Comedy Jam?
I watched a little bit here and there.
I watched it when it first came out. I was enamored with that show. Enamored. I was like, what is this? This is like the best ever. Like, it was like just like Christmas.
Not really.
I mean, it was so new and fresh and hot, and just like these comics were just like popping out with the funniest I've ever heard. It was woo.
Like I said, here and there, but I don't think my interest was more so in that. I think I was more so into the, like I liked more entertainment stuff. Like I'd say like the Apollo type show and stuff like that. Things like that appealed to me.
Because you used to dance.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He
brother,
said dance. He said dance.
Dance and sing, right?
And right then is when we cut.
Hey,
That's
dance
when
and
we
sing.
Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. I think Katt is just roasting, exposing these people, which is awesome. They need to be exposed. I mean,
you can't take nobody's stuff, man. Take credit for it and act like you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just take somebody's stuff and be like,
right.
no, I ain't do it. You know,
right.
And they got evidence.
Yeah, and the receipts, everything is, and it's the age of exposure. Exposing the light, whatever is in the dark, and come out in the light. It seems to be. He even mentioned that. Hey,
you remember back in the day, people would be lying to you, but now you can like Google stuff on the spot.
I know.
You know what I mean? No, bruh.
Bro, yeah, exactly.
Because it's be folks used to always be lying all the time.
Right. Yeah.
I did this. I did that. Oh, you did? Hold on. Let me see what you're talking. Nah, that wasn't even you, homeboy. That wasn't even you.
Before Google anything, people could. Hey, everybody was at what do you call it? Division I, playing for Division I ball, but blew their knee.
Look me up.
Blew their knee.
Hold on. Look you up real quick.
Yeah, back in the day, you probably had to call the university and say, "Hey, did you guys have this guy on?" Yeah. So anyway.
my daddy did this. Oh, he did. What's your daddy name? Hold on. Nah, that ain't your dad. That's my other daddy.
But anyway, let us know what you guys think.
Yes, definitely. Give us some comments on that.
Yeah, and you agree with Katt? Or you believe Steve? Hey, who do you think was homeless? Katt?
Y'all know what the deal is.
Yeah, I was gonna say something. Nah.